Hi, it's Jenny from Buggy Baby, and today we're taking a look at the Hauck Walk and Care set. This is a new pushchair set from Hauck, and they class this as a premium pushchair. And this one also comes with a carrycot, although you can just buy the pushchair on its own as well. It retails just under £600, and you can use this set from birth all the way up until about 4 years of age. So it will take your child up to 22k, and on top of that you can have 3k in the basket. The pushchair weighs about 11.5k, so it has got quite a lot of weight to it. And from what I've seen, it's got an awful lot of features on it. So it's got a reversible seat, a seat that moves up and down, and also the handlebar moves up and down. And it looks like it's got some good wheels on there as well. So what we're going to do is have a look inside the box, get everything out, set it up, and then we can have a look at all of those features. We're having a look at this in the dark grey colour. So if we have a look in the box, you can see there we've got really nice grey colour here, and I can see we've got all sorts of bits and pieces in here. So it's not just the pushchair, we've got some accessories as well. So what I'm going to do is empty this box and I'll lay it all out so you can see exactly what you get. Right, so inside the box, these are the contents that you will get. So we've got here the frame of the pushchair. Here's the seat for the pushchair. We've got our front wheels, our rear wheels. We have got a foot muff or an apron. Yeah, foot muff. We've got a rain cover, a cup holder, and here is the carrycot. And that comes with a very nice looking mattress, and inside there's some sort of fabric that I think we're going to need to put round the carrycot somehow. So we'll take a look at that in more detail when we get to that part. So you get quite a lot for your £600. One of the interesting things here is that if you've looked at Hauck before, you'll know that they're quite a budget conscious range. So they tend to be at the cheaper end for pushchairs. So it's quite unusual to have one at this price point of £600. Although obviously with the carrycot you do get a little bit extra for your money. But they are classing it, as I said at the start, as a premium pushchair. So once we've got all of this up, it will be really interesting to see what the differences are between this premium one and also their normal range. So I'm quite looking forward to getting this together and having a good look around it. We're going to start off by setting up the pushchair itself. So as I said, this is the frame. So let's have a look and see how we unlock this. So there is a little like clasp here that you pull up. I think that's going to unlock the frame for us. There we go. Okay. Frame all clicked into place. Now, unusually with Hauck, it looks like the wheel's going to be really easy to do. Now, again, if you've ever had a Hauck product, you'll know that the wheels normally come with pins, and it can be quite fiddly to put the wheels in. But as this is a premium product, this looks like they are just going to slot straight into place, which is nice. So here are our rear wheels, nice big rear wheels, and we are going to just slot them straight in. There you go. And this one. And then our front wheels are just going to slot in here. So if I can pick it up. That's it, turn it till it clicks. Next one. There we go. Okay, that's pretty simple to do. So all four wheels are on, really easy to do. They all just click into place, so you're going to have no issues there at all. And next up is to put the seat unit on. Now, this seat unit can go on parent facing or world facing. which is brilliant. I mean, who doesn't love that? It's really handy to have. And it looks like we're just going to slot it into place on the frame. So you can see here, we're just matching up the bits on the seat onto the frame, and it's just going to slot into place by the look of it. There we go. Okay, so that is your seat on. Right, so now we've got that pushchair set up, I'm going to move on to the carrycot to get this ready to put onto the frame. So it folds flat. We can show you this properly if we put the hood down. Okay, so you can see there, it folds flat, so that's for easy storage, which is a nice little touch. Let's take these off. So you'd be able to, I don't know, put that in the bottom of a wardrobe or on the top of a wardrobe in a cupboard, something like that when you've finished using it, and keep it safe. So you've got everything you need for the carrycot. Obviously it comes with a apron, it comes with a really nice mattress here as well, so you're good to go straight away on it, and it won't need adapters. It's going to slot straight onto the frame of the pushchair. So if we have a look inside of here, we can see, because it's lying flat, obviously we need to get this up, and it is these bars that we need to get in place. So if you can see here, we've got these little metal parts on the top and bottom of the cardboard part of the carrycot, and what we need to do is move those bars onto these little metal parts. You can see there's an insert here where that bar's going to sit. So we're going to use these little fabric bits that they've put on the bar. I'm going to pull this, and that's slot into place, and then we need to do that on the other one as well. Find where the fabric bit's gone. There it is. Slot that into place. There we go. Okay, now I'm not going to lie, this is fiddly. In fact, I haven't quite got that in place. You really need to give it a hard tug. Okay, there we go. Right, so we've got it in place. It's not the easiest thing to do. I'm sure once you get the knack of it, it will be fine. But to start with, you really do need to give that quite a tug to get that into position. However, we can see once it's in place that this bit of fabric that I thought we needed to do something to automatically goes into position. And it looks really smart as well. Really nice grey, light grey material, quite soft, looks really cozy, and it's a really good size. So if we pop our mattress on, which has got a nice quilted effect to it, pop that in, there we go. That looks really nice and comfortable for your little one. It's nicely padded. Again, same type of material as this, it's just got a different pattern, so it's not ultra soft, but it definitely looks nice and cozy. And I can see here, we've got some zips going all the way around. Let's have a look. So what that's going to mean is this fabric, you'll be able to remove that and give it a wash if you need to. So now we've got this set up, we can have a little quick look around it. You can see there that you've already got the apron attached. This is completely detachable with a zip, and it's a nice thick material that's definitely going to give a lot of warmth to your child. Quite smart looking, I'd say. And then we have our hood, which I think we put into place using these little black buttons. There we go, so it clicks into place. So the hood is UPF 50 plus, so that's going to give some sun protection to your little one. It provides actually loads of shelter. It's a really nice thickness, really sturdy once you've clicked it into place, and you've got this nice leatherette detailing. I'm guessing that's part of what they're going for with their premium range. And let's have a look if we turn it around. Oh, what we got here? Oh, okay, so there's a nice little zipped part here. Oh, that's good. Little zipped part there that you can pull down, and that's going to give some ventilation to your child in the hot months. And if we pull this up, you can see we've got more mesh here, which again is just going to give a really nice bit of ventilation to your child. I can see another zip here, so let's have a look. Ah, there you go. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could open that hood up completely as well. All right, so that looks nice, the carrycot. Really smart. Very, very sturdy. Some nice little extras on there with the ventilation windows, and a really nice mattress and a really good apron. So I like the look of that. Let's move on to the pushchair now. So I have to say the frame is just like a matte black plastic. It's very light. It's probably not quite as premium looking as I was hoping for, but it does look smart. It looks like a nice looking pushchair, and I can see from the seat unit that it actually does a lot, because you can adjust the height of it, and as I said, you can move it either parent facing or forward facing. So that's a really nice feature to have, really useful as well. I particularly like a seat that goes up and down. It's really rare to find it, and you do normally only find it on more expensive pushchairs, because it's just a little handy feature if you're taller and you like to have your child up as close to you as possible when you're parent facing. And also it's a really good feature to have if you're sitting in a cafe or something and you want to have your child kind of at the table with you. So we can look at that in more detail in a moment. Right, first sight, we can see we've got very, very padded seats. We've got this quilted looking material again. So it's not particularly soft material, but it is extremely padded. So it's going to be quite comfortable for your little one. And we've got this leatherette detailing again, which is obviously a theme here with this pushchair, because we also have it on our handle as well. Okay, if we start looking at the wheels, these are rubber wheels and they are foam filled, so they're puncture proof, so you don't have to worry at all about punctures for them. But what it will mean is that this is an all-terrain pushchair, so you can use this either on your off-road walks, if you're going into maybe walking down the path of a forest, maybe you've got bumpy terrain, and it will also be good in an urban area. So all-terrain wheels with really no maintenance, which is great. And you can see here our front wheels are swivel wheels, and I can also see you've got some good suspension there. You can just see those springs there. Now that suspension is going to mean that these are going to go over bumps very nicely. The front wheels are lockable, so if it's extremely bumpy terrain, you'd want to lock those front wheels into place to make it easier for you to push. And if we spin it round, you can see here our rear wheels are quite a lot larger. And, I can see here, you can see the suspension on the back wheels here, which is a rather nice large coil, which again just means it's going to be really smooth on whatever terrain it is that you're pushing the pushchair on. Whilst we're down here, here is our brake bar. It's just put your foot on it, press it down, the wheels are locked, put it up, the wheels move, really easy to use. And here is our basket. The basket's a bit disappointing, to be honest. It's really shallow. So although it's not a bad size, we can see we're easily going to be able to get a changing bag in there, perhaps a coat or something like that. It's not very secure, so you'd need to be a bit careful about what you put in there. Now, as I mentioned at the start, the pushchair takes 22 kg, so that's the weight that your child can go up to. But the basket itself is on top of that, so you can put an extra 3 kg in. So overall, it's 25 kg, but 3 kg of that is what you have in the basket. So just bear that in mind. We'll take a look at the seat unit now. So the fabric is really, really padded. It's not particularly soft. In fact, it's quite coarse, and It's quite shallow as well. You can see it's quite a shallow seat. There's no side bits here. So in a forward position, that seems really nice. But that would concern me a little bit having it on a lie flat, that there will be no kind of side protection for your child if you're putting them in there as a small baby. Anyway, as I said, it is really padded. Again, in a lovely grey colour. It's not really as premium as I hoped perhaps the fabric would be. But one of the really great points about this seat unit is that the seat moves up and down, which we looked at briefly. So I will show you how that works. Well, we can see here, you've got these little parts that push in, these little buttons on either side of our seat unit. And using those, you can pull the seat up. So that is mid position. And if we go again, that is the highest position. So you've got 3 positions there, a high one, midpoint, and then the lowest that it goes, which is there. So that gives you a decent amount of choice as to what height you would like that seat to sit at. And is a nice feature to have. It's quite an unusual feature to have on a pushchair. You normally do find that on more expensive ones. So it's a nice handy thing to have, especially, like I said, if you're taller and you want to have your baby sitting up closer to you, or if you're sitting them up at a table when you're out and about. Now, the other thing that the seat unit does is, as I've said earlier, you can have it world or parent facing. And to do that, you would use exactly the same buttons on either side of your unit. You would lift it up completely, and then all you would do is spin it round. So just reattach it, slot it into place, and there you have it, parent facing. And we've got this on the highest setting. And one of the nice things about when they're parent facing, with this having been able to have the seat up high, is that you're going to keep them really nice and close to you. So if they like to have eye contact with you, they need that reassurance, you'll be able to do that really well with this seat unit. Right, let's pop that back round. So it is easy to pop the seat unit on and off. It's light enough that it's not really going to cause you any hassle at all, and it goes in really easily. Okay, so we also have here an adjustable footrest, and you've got these buttons on either side, and you can move it down, and then you can have it higher up, perhaps when your child's smaller or they're napping. If we have a look here, the bumper bar is detachable, so there's 2 little buttons on either side. You press that in, and then you can remove the bumper bar completely. So it's nice to have the choice as to whether you want to have it in there or not. And having a look at the straps, I can see there are 2 positions to put them in. So all you would have to do is re-thread it from the back. So you'd push that through the seat unit, and then you'd re-thread it onto the lower part if that's what you wanted. And you can also see here these loops. So if you had these straps on the lowest part, you could then thread the strap through the loops, and it would bring it lower still. And the reason you'd want to do that is if you've got a very small baby in the seat unit, it would just keep the straps low enough for them, keeping them nice and safe without the straps kind of rubbing against their neck or their head. We've got a 5-point harness here, nothing particularly special to shout about, just a normal 5-point harness. We've got some plain some chest pads here to help it be more comfortable for your child. So there's nothing really out of the ordinary in terms of the straps. They're exactly as you would expect. And let's take a look at this hood. Right, so I can see here we've got it unzipped, so it's actually an extendable hood. So we'll have a look at it as it would be normally before you extend it. Okay, there we go. So that's a hood in its normal position. It gives really decent coverage. It's a very thin hood, but you can see here we've got these ridges, which is going to keep it perfectly stable. It's not going to be flapping around at all. And it's also got sun protection in it as well. And as we just saw, it is extendable. So if I undo these poppers, you can bring it out even further. And then If we unzip, you can bring it out further still. The hood is a really nice touch. If you haven't had a pushchair with an extendable hood before, they are amazing, especially if you're trying to get your child to go to sleep in the pushchair. What it's going to do is give them more privacy in there. It's going to stop them from being interrupted from the outside world. So it's really useful to have, and of course it's going to give them a lot of coverage from not only from the sun, but if it's windy or perhaps it's just spitting a tiny bit, this is going to be great for you. I love an extendable hood. Again, it's normally a feature that you'll find when the price point is a bit higher on a pushchair. So you can see there we have got 3 different positions we can put that hood in. So that's a nice feature. We'll turn this around now and have a look at the recline. Right, I'm going to bring this down to the lowest setting. So our recline is a one-handed recline. You can see here we have got this little button that we push in, and that's going to move the pushchair down. Now, normally when they're like this, you don't have a lot of choice in recline positions. That looks like that's going to be the case here. So if we push that button in, let it naturally drop to its next point. Okay, spin that round. So this is going to be your midway point. And if we press that button in and let it drop again, let it caught on the handlebar here. Bring that up. There we go. Now this is on its lie flat position. Now, just before when we were looking at the seat, I mentioned that there's not a lot of side fabric here, which is absolutely fine when you've got them in upright position. But you can see if they're lying flat there, they're very exposed because there's nothing protecting them at all. Obviously, you can put the hood up, which will help a little, but there's just nothing on these sides. Personal preference, personally, I just like to have some side material here where it's a bit higher, just to cocoon your child in. You might not care at all, in which case it won't be a problem. It's just something to note. Spin this back round. Let's have a look at the handlebar. So the handlebar is adjustable, and you've got this sliding mechanism here and a button underneath, and you would press down on that button and you would slide the mechanism first, press down on the button, and then you can move the handlebar to whichever height you'd like. So obviously, depending on your height, you can move it about to make sure it's really comfortable. Adjustable handlebars are especially good if you have a partner that is much taller or shorter than you, because it means that you can buy the pushchair without worrying about if one of you is going to struggle to push it. So again, a nice touch. Covered in the leatherette material, which does make it comfortable to push. The only thing I'd say is it does feel quite flimsy. If you can hear and see that, it doesn't particularly seem sturdy to me. So that's, just something that I'm thinking is a shame, really, for something that they're advertising as a premium product. It's a shame it's not a little bit more sturdy on the frame. Let's take a look at the fold. So they're advertising this as a one-handed fold. Sometimes when you have a pushchair that says it's a one-handed fold, it's not actually quite one-handed. So let's see if this one is. So to fold it, I believe you'd have to have the seat forward facing. So if you've had it parent facing, you just quickly need to spin that round. You also need to have the seat all the way up. So let's push that up, and we need to pull that hood in. Okay, so there's a couple of steps to doing this, and the first step is to push this seat unit forward. So using that little button that we used when we reclined the seat, you would push that in, and instead of putting it back, you're going to put it forward as far as it will go. So you can see there, that's as far as it will go now. And next we need to use this white button and push that in. And then that collapses it even further. And now the rest of the fold is done using the handlebar. Now I have tried this prior to filming, and it was quite fiddly to do. There is a little bit of a knack to getting it to go down, which hopefully I'm going to do first time and show you. So you're going to use this same mechanism that you used when you moved the handlebar up and down. and you're going to push the handlebar all the way down and then kind of give it a flip backwards, and that's going to push the handlebar down. So let's give it a go. So we're sliding, we're going to push that button in, we're going down. No, haven't done that first time. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay. You have to give it a real push to get it down and kind of like move it to the side as well. It's fiddly, to be honest. So now you've got it in this position, you can see here there's a little place for your hand to go, and you would then put it up, and there you have it in its folded position. So you can see it stands in its folded position, but it is, if you look around here, it's rather large. The seat unit sticks out quite a lot. So if you've got a large boot, this isn't going to be an issue. If you haven't got as much space in your boot, what you'll probably would have to do is take the seat unit off and put the seat unit and the frame into your boot separately. It's a shame actually, because it really doesn't push down particularly well. It's a shame that this doesn't go in further. As I said, if you're not bothered though about taking the seat unit off and the frame and having them separately, then it's not going to pose you a problem. The other thing I'm noticing is that you then have the handlebar on the floor, so that's not great really either. Yeah, I'm not overly enamoured by the fold, and it was quite difficult to do. So let's try and get it up and see how easy that is to pop it back up. Right, so we're going to have to start off with, I think, let's start off with the handlebar. Okay, so the handlebar, to get it up, you don't use this mechanism that we use to get it down. You use this little part here. Can you see that moves up and down? We're going to put that downwards, and then that should release the handlebar. Here we go. Click that into position. Then push down on the handlebar. Okay, so that's all of your wheels now ready. The only thing you have to do now is move the seat unit. It should hopefully click into place. There we go. And that bumper bar moves up. So there you go. That has been clicked into place and you're ready to go. Right, let's move on by trying out the carrycot on the frame of the pushchair. So we are going to remove the seat unit. Let's pop this down here. And we are going to get our carrycot. This weighs just over 5k. It's quite heavy for a carrycot actually, but it's, you know, it's quite a large sturdy one, so I guess that's where the weight's coming from. Now this should just click on. There we go. There we are. Okay, so that's really easy to do, and actually it's really very nice with the carrycot on. So I think I prefer the carrycot unit being on there than I do the seat. And on first impressions, that is because the carrycot just, it's so sturdy and it looks a lot nicer quality than the seat unit. So if you've got a small baby in there, they are going to be really comfortable. I don't think, no, you haven't got the option of moving this any higher like we do with the seat unit, but it's perfectly fine as it is. And you can use this carrycot up until your child reaches 9k. So that's going to be somewhere between 6 and 9 months. So you will get quite a lot of use out of it. When you're ready to remove the carrycot off, there's these little white buttons and you'll need to push them in. There's one on the other side. And then hopefully this is just going to come off. Yes, okay, oh, that's nice. Okay, so that's really nice and easy to do. Pop that on and off. So you're literally just pressing those white buttons in either side, and then you can just pop it off of the frame. Okay, that's great, I like that. So we've had a good look around the Walk and Care pushchair set. I've shown you all of the features that it has. Hopefully it's given you a really good idea of what the pushchair does. I'm just going to go through a few points of it, my thoughts on the pushchair. This is the first time I've seen a premium product of Hauck's. Normally what they do is they offer you budget pushchairs at lower price points, and you know, they're as you expect them to be at that price point. So obviously, because this is more expensive at just under £600, you do expect to get quite a lot more for your money. So let's start off with the positive points. The carrycot in particular is a really nice product. It's really sturdy. It looks very smart and very comfortable for your child. I particularly like the really nice hood and the amount of space that your child has in there. So I love that. I also really liked how easy it was to attach it on and off to the frame with the pushchair. So that was great. Now, moving on to the positives of the actual pushchair itself, you've got really nice wheels. They are rubber foam filled wheels, so they're not air wheels. But what it will mean is you can use it on any terrain. Obviously, if it's an off-road pushchair you're looking for, this isn't what you'd go for. You'd go for an air-filled tyre. But if you want something that can manoeuvre well over really any terrain, this is what you'd go for. So they're really nice tyres, and it looks like it's got particularly good suspension as well. So that's a great point to it. I love that the seat can be parent or world facing. Again, that's such a great feature to have on a pushchair, so useful. And that was really easy to get the seat unit on and off and quickly turn it around. I also like that the seat unit is height adjustable, a rare find on a pushchair, so it's really nice to have that. And a adjustable handlebar is always useful. Things I'm not so keen on, and unfortunately there are a few on this. I don't really feel that it looks particularly premium. Obviously, the leatherette detailing does help give it a certain look, but unfortunately, the frame itself, to me, doesn't particularly look premium at all. It's very plastic looking, and in fact, if we turn the pushchair around, you can see the back of the seat unit, you know, is not really very impressive. So I'm not that keen on that. I don't particularly like the look of it. I am not keen on how shallow the seat unit is. That's nothing to do whether it's premium or not, or the price. It's just the style of the pushchair. You can find really expensive pushchairs that don't have any side to them as well. So that's really my personal preference. Like I said earlier, that might not bother you at all. Turning it round, I am not overly impressed by the basket. Again, though, that's nothing to do with Hauck and, you know, the fact that this is a more expensive pushchair. You do find these sorts of baskets on all sorts of pushchairs. I don't like them because they're too shallow and things can fall out of them too easily. I also am not that keen on how rattly the frame is. The handlebar feels and looks rattly, and I don't like the fold. I found the fold really difficult to do. You can't always get it done first time. Although it says one-handed, and yes, you're obviously using the mechanisms one-handed, it's fiddly. A one-handed fold to me is something that you just press the button in and the pushchair collapses down. That's not the case with this. There was 3 different steps that we had to do to get it in the folded position, and once folded, it's very large. Lastly, for the price, I'm not that impressed with the materials. I would have expected something a bit more luxurious, something maybe a bit softer. I do like that it's padded. I don't particularly like the feel or the look of it. Again, that might just be personal preference, but if you're spending this amount of money on a pushchair, especially because it's so much more expensive than their other products, you are expecting a little bit more, I feel. So overall, some really great features. There's definitely some things there that could be improved and that are just a little bit disappointing when you're paying that amount of money. It's really up to you as to whether those things that I've mentioned would bother you or not. But like I said, the features are great, and it's so useful to have a seat unit that moves around and does everything that it does. The pushchair itself weighs just over 11 kg, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. It's not really too heavy. It's not out of the ordinary to have a pushchair that weight when it's this size. So that's as I would expect it to be. Comes with the foot muff, comes with a rain cover, comes with a cup holder. So you've got a really nice complete set here. Also, you can attach a compatible car seat if you purchase the correct adapters. That's another nice little point to it. So it's really adaptable in terms of how you can use it. If you want any more information on the product, you can pop on to buggybaby.co.uk. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and thank you for watching.